That shovel has proven worth its weight, it seems.
Indeed. And who knows what manner of riches we'll unearth together with this tried and true treasure digger.
Enough to finish this mission with a long vacation in the tropics, gazing side by side at a burgundy horizon, if we're lucky.
Finally, you've come! The others, they're... But wait. Where is Mendius? Or Anna? You're not one of the Fabulous Five. That's it, we're dead. Ahu's damned automaton! It'll kill us all! I'm just a farmer down on his luck. The Fabulous Five. They promised me adventure and riches. But what lurks here? It is certain death. They tricked us. We'll never survive. Fabulous. Ha! Fabulously lying. Cheating dogs is what they are. They sent me and my mates to this cave to deal with what was supposed to be an erratic little piece of wizardry. But it turns out to be a real killer. A murderous machine. What did they expect from us? I never held a sword before in my life. They said they'd be right behind us, show us the ropes. But they never showed, and now look at us. We are either dead or dying. Oh, please, I implore you. If you can, save my friends. They're still there in the dark, desperately trying to make a stand against that beast of steel. Nothing much. He's some kind of wizard, isn't he? All I know is that that monstrosity down there has his signature engraved on it. He's responsible for the madness that haunts this place. And I'll bet he's just as demented as the contraptions he creates. You look like a veteran warrior if ever I saw one. Please, help the others if you can.
Gods, what a battle that was. I never thought we would make it. And we wouldn't have, if it wasn't for your timely intervention. Can't believe you saved us all. Damn, it's good to be alive. Thank you, my friend. We'll head back to Sicil, to the Legion barracks. I, for one, have a few nasty cuts in me. And those Legionnaires will know better than anyone else how to treat combat wounds.
Holy hellhounds! We were lucky to escape that abomination without being zapped into jerky. I reckon I couldn't have designed a better example of the magical menace myself. And all this from Ahu, our so-called ally. You ask me, we'd all be better off if those wizarding nutters were quarantined on their own little island. Let them blast each other to bits and leave the rest of us in peace. These are the times we live in, that much is clear. Wizards, sorcerers, and whichever monstrosities they can conjure is seizing control. And they'll succeed if the likes of us don't band together to send them scampering.
Hail! One look at you, mighty paladin of the waves, and your destiny is clear. You were meant to swim the seas. Of course, of course. Do dolphins not frolic in the waves like rabbits through the field? Do crabs not waltz between the sea and shore at their leisure? And do you not possess the power to breathe the water of the sea as easily as you do the air? Assuredly you do! I, mighty statue of the cliffs, to grant you the power! Now go, your highness of the tides, and test your new ability! A tedious, eons-long job, a task more fit for a dog. For our only purpose within these stony confines is to guard the entrance to the cave you see on that cliffside. We must prevent what lives within from escaping until due penance is done. But we long to move freely once more. But we are utterly trapped without our preferred elements to free us. Farewell, ruler of the deep. Don't forget to test out your new power. Swim deep, 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 and see how your lungs transform to gills. I swear it will work.
Intriguing, isn't it? A body washed ashore in the middle of a deserted beach. Who was he? What happened to him? Was he friend or foe? Your mind is bubbling with questions. Well, you are quite in luck. Yes, quite in luck. For I have a unique grasp, get it, on this situation indeed. My friends, if I had more of them, would call me Pincer. A pity there aren't more pals around, for mine is an upbeat, energetic, and optimistic character. If you ever feel like conversing over sunset or sunrise, you can find me here on this very beach, my home. Nothing old Pince loves more than sharing stories, anecdotes, ideas, and opinions. What don't I know? I saw it all from start to finish, so ask away. His name I do not know, but I can tell you he was a very experienced pearl diver. But a few pearls a day wasn't enough. He wanted to be rich, better than the other divers in Sicil. Oh, I'm so glad you asked, for this is where the story grows extra juicy. He was talking to those watcher statues on top of the cliff. We'll grant you a wish, they said. I want to swim like a fish, he said. Ta-da! You can now breathe underwater, they said. So down, down, down he dived. I guess the wish was a bust. I know that for sure. Yesterday I was enjoying the mid-afternoon sun when I heard a strange gurgling. I looked toward shore and there it was, the body of the pearl diver. Oh, not so much. They've been here longer than I have by far, and if I listen closely, I can hear them talking to people sometimes. I wish I could get them to talk to me. Leaving already? But I know plenty more, just ask. Come back! Oh, well, it was great meeting ya. Don't be a stranger, you're my best friend.
Can you imagine risking life and limb for mere riches?
What a fool. Why court death for mere pearls?
During steps and slow.
True enough. If he'd been content with his lot, he'd be diving for pearls instead of lying in a heap.
Bravest knight, a source hunter, nay. Tell me verily, would thee likest to know us what the future holdeth for thy? Lo, I am stucketh false like a barnacle upon the hull of time. But while mine body is confineth in a stone prison, mine visions runneth free. Would thee liketh to see the end of thine adventure, mortal? Thee mightily shoreth, knowing the truth might prove difficult for thine to handleth. Perhaps a wise move, mine merry hero.
You burn with the desire to free your spirit, as I burn with the longing to flee this encasement. But talking is hardly the end of it. I also grant great fortune to those bold enough to address me. For you, I foresee great fame and renown. But first you must prove your worthiness, your spiritual valor, by freeing yourself of all your worldly possessions. Burn them to ash, and watch your spirit soar. Ah, curse! We four powerful beings all have been trapped here to seal the entrance of yonder cave. Until all of us are freed by our favored element, the cave remains impenetrable, and what lies within remains trapped, same as we. I like to keep my visitors on their toes indeed. But in your case, most blessed spirit, never a fib passes these lips. Cleanse yourself with fire and you won't regret it. You can trust me. Ta-da, traveler. And don't forget, to find the true rewards of life, you must absolutely burn everything you own. Does this look like a face that would lie to you?
You, noble creature, you look like you could take to the sky at any moment. Listen closely, for I can grant you the ability to soar like a falcon. As sure as the sea is green. But hold still, I must first weave my magic spell. Bippity, boppity, boo! There, the charm is complete. Go on, test your new powers. For your first flight, a steep ledge works as your best jumping-off point. Oh, I say so many things. Who can keep track of what fool acts on what? That man clearly didn't ask me to super-duper swear. But for you, my promise is the super-duperest. Goodbye, oh Lord of Wind. Don't forget, you'll fly highest and truest if you start with a running leap. The higher the cliff, the better.
Be cursed, all divines, for an unwelcome light shines in this dread, dreary cave that was marked as my grave. A lowly male among my Bellegarettes? Unworthy are you, be they blondes or brunettes, to gaze upon their countenance fair, their luscious lips, their voluptuous hair. O ignorant innocent, 'tis I, Belegar, the greatest practitioner of magic by far. There isn't a spell, no incantation arcane, that is not stored in my miraculous brain. I speak, I rhyme, and wonders create. The world is my playground, and the living my bait. 'Twere the vagaries of youth that landed me here. Demons! I thought that I could puppeteer. For it was in those days my one and true aim, the attention of Maxos to dramatically claim. Devils I summoned, a demonic quartet. Alas, that they posed too big a threat. I was soon overcome, nigh unto death. Maxos I called with my last desperate breath. He saved my life with wild, wondrous magic, and yet the outcome was dreadfully tragic. He locked me in here for my reckless behavior, vowing that I would have no other savior than a champion so bold and downright courageous, they dare to defy my trespass outrageous. The demons I summoned, they guarded my prison, but after long last, a champion has risen. So cheers, old chum, for unbarring the door. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to explore. You mean you don't know the patriarch of wizards? The devoted companion of fire-breathing lizards? A jetpack he gave the Dragon Commander. Aye, I can tell you with absolute candor that he gave him a mighty empire too. Boy, you've got a lot of catching up to do. So hie thee to a store and take a good gander at the amazing spectacle that is Dragon Commander. Who is counting the years or even the centuries? This isn't the worst of penitentiaries. Rifts I have run, in dreams I have seen, thousands of kingdoms and galaxies obscene. Furthermore, I devised these Bellegarettes, the choicest of ladies a man can get. Yes, the demons you vanquished, so now I am free. But was I truly confined? Ha! Not me! And soon so shall I, though don't say goodbye. I'll be out in the wilds, in the woods, in the dales. There I may meet you, and spin you new tales. So let us prepare, my savory lasses. I mean to depart, so move your sweet asses.
It is spectacular indeed to behold how quickly your powers grow. There is a superhuman quality to your progress that both impresses and pleases me. Do continue to pursue the depths of your potential with relentless resolution. Yes, seek power for power's sake. Forswear the pitfalls of morality. Forswear both good and evil. The promises of duty and ambition. Let power be the end of its own means, and nothing in this world will be able to stand in your way. And there we have it. The weak-mindedness that, like a cancer, eats away at the foundations of strength and dominion. That devours and grows until it undoes the drive for power completely. Know ye then, weak-minded ones, that only if you cast aside all desire, and instead focus on the utter mental and physical mastery of supremacy over all, the means as well as the ends, will melt into ultimate purpose. This purpose, I have my own. As do you, that much is clear. Though, perhaps you may as yet be unaware of its true design and composition. So, let us continue our journey, for it is in the journey that purpose takes shape. Go forth, ever on, before grinning time turns us into frail, failed fools. By Parbatha's silver talons must we linger so. An idle brain is a demon's workshop, hunter. I can tell you if you wish, but you'd have to listen to the tale of my life, because my future, such as it is rooted deeply into my history. So I shall. Once upon a time, I was a king in a land of beauty to the east. A land of tigers and slender towers, of deserts and forests, of sun and all the world's wealth. I was a young king, handsome and all-powerful. Every nobleman would have killed his own brother if I promised to take his daughter's hand in marriage. But I refused their incessant implorations. I knew my life as a sovereign would be self-indulgent, but also a self-delusory one, if I weren't to marry for love. And so a handful of years went by. The king's throne I myself occupied, whereas the queen's throne remained empty but for the court's cats that would nap the afternoons away upon its velvet cushions. But then one day, a young woman visited my kingdom. She was a poetess and a storyteller. People flocked to her, listened to her every word as if receiving mantras from the divines. I invited her to my palace, and soon our days, our nights, our love and our lives intertwined. Hiraka. How I miss her still. Miss the brilliance of her mind that was both as sparkling and as unbreakable as the diamonds that adorned her body. Oh, and how I miss her body. 1,000 artists I could have commanded, show me beauty. But she would have effortlessly surpassed their every endeavor, and curving her lips into a smile, make them break their sculptures in tearful impotence. And yet, true happiness, that commodity more precious and even more fleeting than the dominion of kings, sang to us like the nightingale, only to depart come the dawn of our first year's unity. A malady overtook me, and I began to wither. It was an unparalleled horror. Scores of physicians flocked to my bedside. They traveled from realms across the seas, hoping to cure the mighty Jehan, undo the gloom that had befallen the land, and mere vultures that they were, to be paid handsomely for their efforts. But none of their potions took effect. Their salves seared, but did not soothe my fading flesh. Like a ghoul I looked, unburied yet risen from the grave. In futile anger I struck my mirror, but broke my brittle fingers only, not its ever-mocking surface. That, hunter, is a tale for later. I realize I haven't answered your initial question yet. Why it is that I chase time like a lioness its prey. But we'll get to that part later, should time permit.
Who would have thought it? Jehan, an all-powerful king, stricken by a horrid plague, the memory of which plagues him still.
No wonder. From the sound of it, he was at death's door.
The higher your station, the deeper you may fall. He may live, but clearly Jehan is a king no longer.
Excuse me, you're standing just exactly in my sun. Me? Oh, I'm long retired now. Enjoying the sunshine is far preferable to gutting rabbits over silly stones, after all. But they say a sorcerer's work is never done, but I seem to have finished mine quite in time to enjoy my golden years. Source murder, Cecile. Oh, I don't concern myself with such matters anymore. Channeling Source is more hassle than it's worth, and Cecile's a fish-reeking backwater I've no interest in visiting. Well, most certainly, though I haven't practiced in quite a few years. All the ferocity and fire of it just can't hold my interest the way a mellow afternoon on the beach can. You're giving me a strange sort of look, my friend. Is the heat getting to you?
It should be our duty to end your wicked life. But you just seem so harmless.
Agreed. Abstain from sorcery, and you'll have no problem with the likes of us.
Oh, Source Hunter, are you? Huh? Aren't Source Hunters supposed to be a bit, well, fierce and awe-inspiring? You look more like you'd like to settle down for a bit of sunbathing with yours truly. Help yourself, then. It's a big beach. Go on, then. Didn't you read the spell, my friend? We who step through yonder gate, the hunters hate, eh? Doesn't sound like your sort of crowd, does it? Don't let's worry about that just now, my friend. Why don't you step away from that gate, and we can while away the afternoon with such matters. Oh, do you really need me to get into the tiresome details? There are some people inside, people and things, equipment of some nature or other. I was given a bit of gold to keep people, that's you, out. So that's what I do. We needn't make this any more complicated than it has to be. Oh, brown hair, nasty temper, big staff, huh? I suppose she's the one who tasked me with this little posting. She's always running in and out of the place with a foul look on her face. Friend of yours? No, don't push me, Source Hunter. I'd like to go back to enjoying the sun, and I'm sure you'd like to go back to whatever it is a scout like you gets up to. Trust me, there's nothing in that cave worth dying over, and frankly, I'd quite prefer not to get your blood all over my beach blanket. You aren't planning on going where you ought not to go, are you? I'm getting too old for this sort of flattery. Fine, I do as you wish. If anyone asks how you got in, tell them their guards was gone fishing.
My friend, we have done it! The secret lair of Evelyn is before us at last. I will follow where you lead, into this mystery, and out the other side of it too.
Oi! Is you the one what locked this here gate? We need to speak to Evelyn.
Well, myself, I need a hand choosing drapes for me kitchen windows. Are you daft?
I need to inform her about the happenings in the Black Cove. But since my lady seems to have barred her gates to the likes of us, why don't you tell her this, Smallbones? We've run into a snag in the cove, but we're pushing through. The Starstone will be hers soon enough. I reckon if you don't already know, that may be above your pay grade. Take it up with Evelyn, why don't you? Or, better yet, have a look for yourself. You seem like just the type those pirates would love to get their hands on. Can't you recognise a fellow immaculate when you see one? Just 'cause I got twice your strength in my little toe, don't mean we ain't equal in the goddess's eyes. Is that right, Smallbones? Maybe you can give me a single good reason for I rip your arms out. Fair enough, Smallbones, fair enough. Let the good lady know we look forward to meeting with her, will ya?
Curse your stupidity, Evelyn. Look over there. Your foolish games have brought source hunters into our very midst. I have no time for these distractions. Brachus Rex's resurrection is at hand. Deal with these insects and join me. Understand?
Of course, O Holy Conduit. I will deal with them swiftly.
See to it that you do.
You! Your stomping groping through my affairs has cost me dearly. More dearly than you'll ever know. What a pleasure it will be to see the source shred your every last sinew. That wretch is but a thrall, a tool, but the conduit trusted him. I was determined to find out why, and resurrected him. His unwillingness to cooperate has proven something of an annoyance, but no matter. We're nearly through, aren't we, Jake? Just a little more pain. She is our leader. Leandra is her name. The conduit is her title. She aims to bring about... But no, you are not worthy of such knowledge. The bird does not explain to the worm why it devours it. Yes, a sorcerer, disciple of blood, chaser of life everlasting. For a true sorcerer, death is but an inconvenience to rid oneself of, Hunter. Brachus Rex, centuries in his grave, will walk again, healthy as a newborn babe. That is our power, the power of sorcery. He was the greatest sorcerer ever to have lived. His power outmatches us all. The secrets he carries within him are phenomenal. He will aid us in our task, Hunter. All you have seen, all we are trying to do, this is but the beginning. You mean my bloodstone, I suppose? Ha! It was named like that for a reason, Source Hunter. I'll put it simply. We start with Starstone. A pretty gem, but hardly special. It contains a potential, though, known only to the enlightened few. If imbued with blood, Starstone contains the power to heal. A life given to the stone is a life one can give to another. To save a great life must be sacrificed. This is what the conduit has taught us. Considering the imminent turn of the tide, Source Hunter, you should trust me when I say you're better off dead. Brachus Rex is rising, and soon Source will live again.
My, the Source Hunter. Dear dead Evelyn told me you had landed in Sicile, drawn to my source little corpse like flies to excrement. Well, here I am, a man no longer, a monster instead, unworthy of the conduit's grace. The very same Jake, counselor by day, sorcerer by night, martyr in death. Mean? Do you contest it, huh? You presumptuous dog! I died serving the conduit. Leandra! Oh, blessed conduit! I'd have followed you till the end of time. But it wasn't to be. I was struck down in the prime of my sorcery, and by whom? Leandra's own sister. The pox upon her. Ikara! I spit on every syllable. They call her the White Witch. She is powerful in her own right, but never would I have thought she'd challenge her sister Leandra and kill one of the most loyal. Me! Very little indeed. What concern was that foul woman of mine? White Witch, perhaps, but black sheep of her family, too. She shunned her sister's teachings. Can you believe that? She could have been the very conduit's right hand, but she shunned her. Oh, take vengeance upon her, blessed Leandra. I invoke you. Open her veins, bleed her dry. Give her a function at last. My murder, a tale of woe. The time, a misty midnight. The place, the King Crab Inn. The players, myself, Leandra, Ikara, and a stranger whose identity I have never established. The conduit was there to meet with this stranger, and had tasked me to stand ready to overpower him if necessary. I heard sounds of passion at first, but later of angry argument. Then I heard Leandra's command, and I entered the room. She swerved past me, and oh, I can still feel the rasp of her holy breath upon my ear, whispered, "Finish him." The man lay on the floor, struck down and ready for my knife, which I plunged deep into his heart. Yet, but not a moment later, Ikara burst through the window, and I was defenseless. She savagely tore my life from my body, and I died in the glow of the source. A holy martyr, slain in the name of the conduit. Foolish grasper, she who thought herself the conduit's favorite couldn't stand that I had been privileged as a confidant. When she realized the conduit had been in the inn the night I was killed, she couldn't stand to think that I had been trusted where she had not. She brought me back to unlife so that I would reveal what I knew. She wanted to work her way back into the conduit's confidence. But as you saw, Leandra had no interest in Evelyn's petty tricks. Yes, the king is dead, but not for long. Long live the king! The Blackest Rex has no equal, Hunter. His knowledge of the source is absolute, and through him so will the conduits be. The hour is nigh. You do not realize it yet, but his axe is falling towards your scrawny neck. And I am of little use to Leandra's cause now. My worm-eaten rind is an insult to her perfection. To my grave, then, I will go. I suppose you'll not grudge me my portion of rest.
May the pain wrought by sword and sorcery stalk this stiff, stirring strumpet beyond the shores of death. Once more we have stumbled upon an amateur. One who disfigures the pallid elegance of necromancy's visage with rank and vulgar imperfections. She dabbled with flesh like a child with its pudding. She was deaf to the screams of her victims as she made the scalpel glide through exposed limbs with the easy grace of birds through air. And for what? For nothing but to command death. The true necromancer. It is life he wants to command. Immortality. Achieve this, and the screams of agony will not have thundered forth from tortured throats in vain. They will be forgotten in the maelstrom of time eternal. You keep your minds on a tighter leash than a priest his hidden desires. You shy away from the necessity that is torment for most short-sighted reasons, for the meaninglessness that is morality. What is humanity, after all, but a gathering of germs from which an exalted few may pluck the subject their studies require and vivisect them into oblivion while propelling themselves into eternity. Glory be this noble pursuit, tainted as it may be by the blunders of simpletons like Evelyn. Let us eradicate such vermin wherever we find it. Let us seal up every crevice it crawls from. But let us never lose sight of the higher purpose that the art of necromancy promises yet. So now to pursue said promise with haste and determination. Death is a friend of time. Life is not.
Source Hunter, you have done it, haven't you? You've discovered the fate of Counselor Jake. By the gods, no one could have predicted such a dark turn of events. This is worse than my deepest fears made manifest. It just cannot be that they aim to resurrect him. Brachus Rex. It cannot be! Forgive me, this news just so very upsetting. This thing. It was the king of tyrants, the embodiment of terror. The lunatics that seek his rise must be stopped, whatever the cost. I do. I do indeed. Brachus would unseat the king of demons in sheer perfidy and malice given half a chance. For the world, for you and I to suffer his perversions once more is unthinkable. The possibility of his return is more than I can bear. And Ikara, that she has been dragged into this sorry business adds insult to insufferable injury. There have long been rumors that Brachus's corpse was interred in the vaults beneath the abandoned Church of the Seven in Sicil's eastern hinterlands. That place is crawling with undead these days, so the rumors may well be true. Where Leandra goes, the dead rise left and right. And even in death, the long-lost tyrant's corruption appears to persist. Come to think of it, did anyone in Evelyn's lair mention the name Cassandra? It's nothing, Hunter. Nothing. My mind is reeling, but I'll feel better soon. After you've cut short Leandra's dark pursuits. She is a great woman, Hunter. A champion of all that is good and pure. She may have killed Jake, but then again, the man turned out to be a vile sorcerer. I can only surmise that she is on to her sister's sinister schemes, which makes me fear for her safety more than anything else. Leandra. I know her, though I haven't seen her in years. As you know, she and Ikara are sisters. It's hard for me to believe that she's leading this cult, that she's delirious enough to go after Brachus Rex. But clearly her involvement can no longer be denied. She's as smart as 10 wizards put together, Hunter. An opponent to be feared. Now, you said Jake and Evelyn called her the Conduit, didn't you? In that case, she may just be the elusive head of the Immaculates. There's a village in the forests north of Sicil where a new religion has taken hold. Its followers call themselves Immaculates, and I've heard say they worship a leader called the Conduit. This village is called Silverglen, and if my suspicions turn out to be correct, there is sorcery at work there. Alas, I haven't the foggiest. Another sorcerer, perhaps? Or simply another victim of Leandra's ploys? The Legion didn't find a second body at the scene of the crime, so maybe he escaped with his life after all. Though, just as likely, his body too was taken away by Evelyn for experimentation. And I will see if I can find out more about Ikara's involvement. But in the meantime, please pursue Leandra to the old church in the east and stop her before she can raise Brachus. I beg of you.
And so the mystery is solved. Councillor Jake was murdered by this so-called White Witch, Ikara. But as it stands, I guess our next concern is Brachus Rex.
Then we know what we must do next. Pursue Leandra and stop her before she brings Brachus Rex back to life.
Agreed. If Brachus is half as dangerous as Jake and Evelyn claimed, we must prevent his ever seeing the light of day again.
Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous hour. Whom would you have the Legion arrest?
So, he wants you to kill that savage the mayor calls his daughter, does he? Hardly seems a crime to do so. But I guess I cannot allow assassinations to take place. I won't arrest him unless I have some actual evidence, though. Or did you think I'd simply take your word for fact? So, you've found proof, have you? You have established this elf has been responsible for the death of many an orc and would like to be responsible for another. I'd give him a medal for his diligence, but apparently source hunters protect the green skins that blight our lands. So be it. Eglandair will be arrested, and you can pride yourself on the travesty of justice that you have brought about.
Turjageta, friend. He has been locked away. Oh, Diljazimas Estinek, you have saved me. Thank you, my friend, thank you. It is a terror to know someone prays for your demise, but you have undone it. The sun that is your chivalry has dissolved the dew that was Eglandir's hate. May the gods bless your heart and shield your soul from harm.
Oh, what now? So, let me get this straight. There are insidious sorcerers running about town that turned a council ambassador into a zombie for sport, after said councillor was murdered by some mystery witch who subsequently trotted off to her cabin in Luculla Woods. Sure you haven't omitted relevant details like flying brooms, black cats, and bloody pentagrams? By Belagar's nevers! Sounds like a fantasy tale mothers tell their children before bed. And I bet none of it's more than fantasy either, though no doubt Ahu puts stock in your every word. Anyway, be these truths, half-truths, or outright lies, it seems to me your business in Seal is concluded. Don't let the undead hit you on the way out.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Good to see you. My brave troops were just telling me how they proudly vanquished the undead near the lighthouse. Did you get to witness my valiant soldiers in action?
Really? I could have sworn we were the ones who inspected the lighthouse.
Right you are. We did all the work while they cowered in the bushes.
What in the hells is the meaning of this, Legionnaires? You cowered from your duty, yet tried to claim the reward. Despicable! Unworthy of the Legion! Lieutenant, it's just... all the others had already perished. We feared for our lives. Hold your lying tongues. To the kitchens with the pair of you. You'll peel bloody potatoes till you die of monotony. Go, go!